Hello. It is time for Tea Talk Thursday. I'm so excited to be here. And ooh, boy, do I have a juicy topic for you today. Today, I want to talk about time. So, this has come up in a couple of different conversations this week with clients. It's come up with friends. Believe me, it's coming up even in my life. So, I had a coach once who asked me the most shocking question I think I've ever been asked, which is if I were to look at your time, right? If I were to look at where you spend the last 24 hours, 48 hours, what would I find? What would I find? So, as entrepreneurs, owners of small business, we have to do everything, right? We have to be customer fulfillment. We have to be the manager of the projects. We have to be the CEO and think about planning. We have to hire and train and fire, like all of these things. And it's a lot. Um, in fact, I was just sitting over breakfast with a fellow micro business CEO owner. Um, and we were talking about this. Like, as a business owner, it falls all on your shoulders. And I was sharing with her that last night, 9 o'clock at night, I'm sitting on my computer, here I am. And it meant that I didn't sleep very well, right? So this is a real thing. And I broke one of my very own rules that I have for myself. But I also know that it was an exception. So that rule is I have this rule: no work on the computer, no work, uh, 2 hours before I go to bed. So that should tell you that my bedtime is well before 11 o'clock. um, because sleep is a priority for me. I know that if I sleep and I get a good night's sleep, I'm more on my game during the day. I'm more productive. Um, I am much more pleasant to deal with, all of those things. So it's a huge benefit. So one of the priorities in my calendar is sleep. Now, the rest of the time, again, I ask, like, where do you spend your time? Current statistics say we average between 3 and 4 hours a day on social media or on our phones. Um, that's a lot of time, right? That's a lot of time. And it's true that as a business owner, social media is a business tool. So we need to be there, but 3 to 4 hours, that's probably not all work productive time, right? So what does that say? That tells me, as a coach, I look at that and I think, wow, okay, looking for distractions. Distractions, if we work back, right? Why do we look for distractions? Well, we're either in overwhelm or we're confused about what to do, or there is a resistance to the thing that needs to be done. All of those things pull us off of our track and often will drive us into things like distractions. Um, I also know for myself that I need to plan, turn off the brain time, right? So I actually have that planned in, and that for me is reading, which it's not productive time. I'm not achieving something personally, professionally, relationship wise. I'm just letting my brain go into neutral, and I need to do that for my own regenerative process. So, okay, conversations, and I digress here, but conversations about time. I want to talk a little bit about time management because this week I heard, well, I have too many things to do. I don't have enough personal time. um, I work all the time, so how can I add coaching into my schedule? Like, how can I add another thing? But the reality is that if we manage our time and think about like the big projects, right? So if you are putting on your CEO hat and you're planning your week and you know that you have CEO time in your schedule and you look at your week ahead and you say, okay, I know I want to achieve this. I want to get this project done. I know that I want to do this much marketing. I know that I want to, this is the most important project strategically in my business. I call those the big rocks, right? So I'm coming back to that analogy with the jar of rocks and sand and water. If you haven't seen it, gosh, go Google time management rocks and you'll probably find it. But those are the big rocks. You want to actually put them in your calendar. Put them in your calendar as if it was an appointment. It's a date that you're making with your business. So here's a subtle little distinction. Sometimes, maybe, we're not as good at doing the things for ourselves as we are for others. So if you shift to thinking of your business as another person, right? It is your business, it is not you. Then when you put those time chunks, those time blocks to work on those projects in your calendar, when you have it actually set aside, you stand a better chance of getting it done. There it is, clear and simple, right? The big rocks, you put them in your calendar. If it's on a to-do list, it's like the sand in your jar. In between the times, the little holes that you have time to fill in, you go to the sand, right? You go to the to-do list. You start checking those things off. Those are the random general things, and there's time for them. Some of my clients even are so organized that they prioritize, right? They create a hot, these are my hot to-dos, these are my medium to-dos. And then if it's not on the medium or above, they take them off completely and put them in a to do later, like a maybe I'll do this kind of a project. So you work on the little to-dos in between the big rocks, in between the big appointments. You time fill with those. Now, what I'm going to propose here is that some of your big rocks include personal time, they include family time or relationship time or whatever it is that you need. If your family is important, if your relationship, your personal relationship is important, if personal time is important, then put it in the calendar. Make it a date, right? Make it date night Friday. Make it pizza night Wednesday. Make it, I'm going to take myself to the movie Tuesday afternoon. Whatever it is, you actually want to put it in. You want to prioritize it. If that's something that you tell me is important to you, I better see it in your calendar, right? Otherwise, what happens? Oh, I'll just shift that around. Oh, yeah, I'll get to it. Oh, yeah, we'll get to that date. Oh, yeah, maybe not tonight. Oh, tonight I'm busy. Maybe tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow. Gee, now it's tonight. I'm busy, right? It just gets shoved off. It gets shuffled off. It gets put to the bottom of the list. So prioritize everything in your business, in your personal life, into big rocks or to-dos. It's going to help tremendously, right? Use your CEO time to actually figure out what the best strategic project is going to be this week. And I would recommend that you have no more than 3 big rocks for business in your calendar in any one week. Okay, take that in. I'm going to say that again. No more than 3 big rocks, 3 big projects that you want to get done in your business in a week. So if it's a big rock, it means it's a big project. Maybe it's not something you're going to finish this week. Maybe it's going to be a big rock in your calendar for 6 or 7 or 8 weeks, right? So I have a client right now. We're talking about what the projects are 8 weeks from now, because she's got a big commitment for the next 7 weeks, right? So we know for the next 7 weeks, a huge amount of her time is going to be dedicated to that project. And she can now schedule around it. She knows how to manage her time because she knows, oh, yep, I need to get this done. It's not as important as this 7 weeks. I'm going to push it off. And then I'm going to put it on a list. And on the 8th week, when this project's up, she's going to put on our CEO cap and sit down and look at all of those strategic projects and say, what's next? What needs to go on my calendar now? So I hope that this has all been helpful for you. It makes a huge difference, right? This is the difference. And I'll tell you, it's like building a muscle. So you can tell yourself like, oh gosh, this worked so well. And then all of a sudden you stop doing it. Just come back to it, right? Just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. Like I said, I was having breakfast with a CEO friend of mine today, and she was just sharing. She knows, right? She has her creative time in her calendar first thing in the morning, and she knows if she negotiates herself out of it and puts something else in that time slot, it's probably not going to happen, and that's not going to help her achieve her business goals like she wants. Right? So yes, you can make exceptions, but you want to make sure that if you schedule something into your calendar, you put one of those big important projects, those big important life things, family time, personal time, relationship time, whatever it is, volunteer time, that when you put those in your calendar, the commitments to your business, those commitments, those personal commitments you make to other people, that you're not routinely and regularly renegotiating with the calendar. Okay. So just keep trying it, give it a shot, try it 1 week, see how it works, evaluate, right? You don't have to commit to the rest of your life, but try for a week. All right. Thank you very much. If you have any questions about time management, I'm happy to talk. PM me. Seriously, I'm here to serve. All right. Thanks so much. And I'll see you for Tea Talk next Thursday.